bigger than the biggest company that you can think of. And therefore, it's almost like the government should not try to be innovative because they can't. So the government needs a mergers and acquisition group that's constantly looking for innovations that have worked. And then they need to come forward and come up with the public-private partnerships. But those public-private partnerships should not be soft. You know, when Jayesh builds his building here and funds it, he should be demanding. He should say, okay, Sandbox, what promises are you making and are you going to fulfill those promises? So I think it's a setting higher expectations on both sides and making sure that we execute to those expectations.
Yeah. Now I would like to request Shravya, just a little bit of background about Shravya. She is a bit Salem and her husband, IIT Mumbai, and obviously they had a lot of opportunities outside, Nizamabad, but even outside India. And instead, Shravya, about 3 years ago, decided that she would really build a school here in Nizamabad, because that is something that growing up here in Nizamabad, she felt she lacked the access to that, a good high quality school. Recently in one of the rankings, it was ranked as one of the top 10 schools in the country for all around development of children. And as I was thinking about, a lot of our programs really engage the youth, both at the college level and at the high school level also, as you've seen from Agastya and Nirman and other programs. So I asked Shravya, you think any of your students might have a question for Desh? And last evening she said, she actually pulled out some notes. I don't know if she still has. She said they came up with 300 questions. So I'll let her decide which of those two she wants to pick for you to maybe enter.
We pick two questions, the easiest ones for Desh and Raju. Out of 300 questions we had from 14 and 15-year-olds about social innovation in Telangana. I'd like to request Rishik from class 10 and Manota from class 10 residency school to please come to the stage and ask your questions.
Public distribution system is mainly for the welfare of the people under below poverty line. So, due to as Telangana and India is taking quick steps towards digitalization, even paying for the PDS system is digitalized. But the people under below poverty line are very illiterate and don't have enough money to put them in banks and don't have good access to gadgets. So, what do you think will be the impact on the people under poverty line?
Yeah, so the question is, people below the poverty line don't have much funds. So what good is all this Paytm and digital India and everything else? That's the question. So, I think you're right. So if we leave the whole thing with just innovation, it's not going to have any impact. But if we educate them, if we prepare them for the new economy, for example, look at the mobile phone. Mobile phone, when I was a kid like you, all of India had maybe 500,000 phone lines. So if you wanted a phone line, you made a request and you got a phone line after 20 years. It took 20 years to get a phone. But now, the technology has been made very simple, very friendly. People have been educated, so now it's very hard to find anybody below the poverty line who does not have a mobile phone, right? And very soon, within 5 years, everybody will have a smartphone. So once they get a smartphone, they have a tool. So we have to make sure that we develop the appropriate products, appropriate education, so that they can use their smartphone. They can use their smartphone to pay for things, to educate themselves, to get better mental care, all those things. So I think technology, just doing technology for the sake of technology, you're right, it's not going to get us there. Because people will not have the ability to consume the technology. But if you really do this concept where young people like you let's say you take 2 hours off in a week, and then you go to a village and you teach villages about digital daily, about smartphone, about PTM, then you'll be making them ready for this new economy. That's how you make it. Oh, thank you very much. Well, give a big hand.
Good morning to everyone present here. I am from Residency High School. Here I have a question. Sir, our government is implementing many policies and schemes for the development of needy and the poor. But all these are not reaching them. About 70 years back, our India got independence, and still we are in the list of developing countries. Where is the development, right? So, what are the methods and the steps taken by Deshpande Foundation in this regard?
Okay, so I think the Indian Constitution 70 years ago, I think promised 2 things. One is democracy, which the country seems to have delivered actually. Because every time we have an election, the power transfer happens without violence, unlike say Pakistan or some other countries. So we have democracy. Now it's a large country with a growing population. So trying to uplift all these people very quickly is a hard problem. And government, even though they have a lot of programs, it's very hard for them to execute the program. Because suddenly they say, everybody should have this. But everybody cannot have it unless you prepare all these people. So the idea behind this Sandbox is to get a lot of smart people like you to be a part of the development. Because the program becomes useless. For example, let's say TV or save money or malnutrition like TV. If anybody has a TV, if you identify a TV patient and if you make sure that they take the medication for 6 months, the TV is gone. But people don't know that, and the government absolutely makes every effort to get the medication to the patients. But the problem is, there's a lot of stigma against TB.
So people won't come forward and say, I have TB, give me medication. So we have to have education to make sure that we identify the patients and then have a program to remind them to take the medication. So a lot of these interventions, I think, all the citizens of the country have to come forward. People who have the smarts, who have the brains, who have the ability to understand all these things, need to come forward and participate together with the government to actually make all these programs effect. So we should not become passive complainers about what government isn't doing. If government isn't doing something, it's because they need help. And all of us should come forward and help them. Will you help them? Great. Thank you. Give it a big hand.
So how are we on time? Am I done? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Maybe we'll just open it up for 1 or 2 questions in the audience. Somebody has a question?
Nice to meet you. This is Devi. How to implementation big idea to related the Kakatiya Sandbox? I will tell about this. Implementation, how to do the big idea. Because so many problems is there. For example, it's related with the commercial orientation. So I need answer of that, please.
Yeah, her question is about how do you implement the big ideas. Remember, Desh talked about the big idea. Now, as you look at the next 10 years, so that's it.
So I know you're interested in Navodyomi, right? So let's take Navodyomi. Navodyomi is about micro entrepreneurs. So the people that we see there in the back, they make anywhere from 10,000 to 20,000 rupees a month. They're all forced entrepreneurs, right? And then you look at MBAs. MBAs have all the skill they need. And then you say, what do we need for entrepreneurs to be successful entrepreneurs? You need a few things. You need compassion, conviction that you want to do something. You need the ability to take the pain, because doing anything entrepreneurial is very hard. And then you need a mindset where you do with whatever little that you have, as opposed to a typical MBA who says, give me everything and I'll do something, right? So these people, they definitely know how to take the pain. They know how to do with whatever little that they have. But what they don't have is education. So this Navodami program is all about bringing MBA 101 to these people. You know, you teach them branding, you teach them marketing, you teach them a little bit about profit and loss, about access to capital, credit. So far we've done 5,000 of them, and we know we can help. But we have 32 million of these people in India. So the big idea is, how do you scale it? How do you take it not to 5,000 or 10,000? Well,
how to deal with failure.
So the question is, how do you deal with failure?
Yeah.
Anytime you do anything new, there are no guarantees because it's not been done before. So that's why you need experimentation. You need the sandbox, which is almost like a living lab where you experiment. So when you experiment, the only secret is failing fast and failing small. That is, you should not do a policy and go nationwide without having proven it, right? Because then you fail big time. So what you do is you make use of these sandboxes to try your ideas. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So the 136 programs we did, probably half of them are failed. That's okay. It's better to fail small than fail big time. So I think experimentation is a very big part of nurturing new ideas.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question. Here. Sir, I just raised my hand. Can I? Sir, question is for you, sir. Actually, I'm in a dilemma between two extremes, which are two dimensions of same thing. Let me define that. Innovation is all about overcoming limitations of things. But why do we add social or commercial, or what is the differentiation? Is it for value? For example, when we just do innovation with commercial aspect, it is for profit. When we don't do it for not for profit, like we are saying, it is for social. But at core, this is creating a confusion between two extremes, which should go in a balanced way.
I get it. So the question is, when you innovate, why is it any different for social entrepreneurship versus for profit? So when you innovate, you're trying to come up with a different solution. The question is, whom are you coming the solution with? Whom are you targeting for that solution? If you target people who have a lot of money, then you only need to make sure that it's a solution they need. Because people who have a lot of money, and if they have a problem, they're looking for a solution. And as soon as they find it, they're going to buy it, right? So you have an immediate impact as long as you bring a new solution that people have a problem with, right? As you come down the pyramid and you come to the bottom of the pyramid, when people live on 100, 200 rupees a day, they're just trying to get by. So it's not like they have disposable income and they're looking for solutions for the problem they have, right? And therefore, you have to come up with a solution and show that this particular solution actually solves a problem. So you're creating a value with that innovation. But if the people are very poor, then they won't be able to pay for the whole solution. So they can pay for a part of it, and the rest of the solution has to be either paid by the government or by charity or by some other means. And then it becomes a social innovation. So it's a question of whom do you target for and who pays for it.
So Desh, it's not so much a question, but just maybe a message from you. We have a lot of people here who have come from very far, several from Silicon Valley, New York, Chicago, and also from Europe, I understand, and certainly other parts of India. So thank you for making this journey. Obviously, it says a lot about how much you care about what we are doing here. And any message from you to those people on how to engage with the sandbox or anything else in general?
Well, I think we get a lot of people. So what happens is everybody has a good heart and they all want to help. But over the last 10 years, the lesson I've learned is that we all have a good heart and we start with the question, what can we give? Because we want to give, right? We want to help. But a lot of the guys who have brains always start by saying, how can I come up with a solution for this problem? Unfortunately, it turns out to be a wrong approach to start with, right? So it's almost like you sort of have to say, no. I mean, I may be smart, but I don't want to come up with a solution. I want them to come up with their own solution. Want them to become innovators. Want them to become problem solvers. As they become capable more and more, then they can absorb more resources, bigger ideas and so on, and then you contribute those. So sequencing your contribution in that sequence, I think it's amazing to see the impact, because then what happens is every cycle that you put in, your thought cycle, every money, every piece of dollar that you put in has a huge impact, because now you're really creating a very efficient machine that can take those ideas, can take those resources and actually do something with it. And so I think it's about sequencing it right.
All right, thank you, Desh, and let's give a big hand to Desh once again. Thank you.
Thank you.